Let's try to prove Stirling's approximation. This formula is very important in physics, not just in mathematics. But first things first, we will start from n factorial, where n is just an integer. We will prove that this is equal to the integral from 0 to infinity of x to the n e to the minus x dx. This is an integral which is related to the gamma function, but I will not delve into these details in this video. Now, we can also show that we can rewrite this integral by using a trick. We will assume that we have a parameter beta less than 0, and we integrate from 0 to infinity e to the beta x dx. This is a very simple integral to carry out because we don't have this factor in front of the exponential, and this is equal to minus 1 over beta. Now, you might wonder, why do we have to compute this integral to show that this relation is true? Well, if we take the nth derivative with respect to beta of the integral from 0 to infinity e to the beta x dx, then in this case, if you bring this differential operator inside the integral, you can rewrite it like this: integral from 0 to infinity of x to the n e to the beta x dx. Now you should be able to see some similarities between this integral and this integral here, because if we set beta equal to minus 1 inside this integral, then we will get exactly that formula. But if we rewrite it like this, with this differential operator, we can compute the result of this integral here from this integral here, because there is an equality here, and we already know the result for this integral because this is just minus 1 over beta. Then if we take the nth derivative with respect to beta of the result, we will also get the result for this integral here. So we have to consider minus the nth derivative with respect to beta of beta to the minus 1. I have simply substituted minus 1 over beta for this integral here. Now you can find the formula for this derivative. It is quite easy to see that this is equal to minus, then we have minus 1 to the power n factorial divided by beta to the power n plus 1. It's easy to find a recursive formula for this nth derivative. And from here now finally we can set beta equal to minus 1, so we get integral from 0 to infinity of x to the n e to the minus x dx, which is equal to minus 1 to the power n plus 1 n factorial divided by minus 1 to the power n plus 1. But this is of course equal to n factorial. So we have proved this result here. But this is not what we want to prove in this lecture. We want to prove Stirling's formula. We want to find Stirling's formula. And this is the starting point. So n factorial can be written like this: integral from 0 to infinity. Now I'm going to rewrite the integrand in this fashion. I can rewrite it, if you think about it, as e to the n log x, natural logarithm of x, minus x dx. This is still coincident with the integrand here. For the properties of logarithms and exponentials, you can easily find that. Now let's make a substitution here. The substitution is x equal to ny. So if we make this substitution, this integral can be written like this: integral from 0 to infinity of n times e to the n log n plus n times logarithm of y minus y dy. Now we can simplify this a little bit. This can be written as n times e to the n log n integral from 0 to infinity e to the n log y, natural log y if you want, minus y dy. Now you can see that we have a function f of y in the argument of the exponential, and this is the point at which we are going to make an approximation. The approximation is that this integral here can be rewritten by considering a Taylor series of this function. So we are going to find the approximation of the function f of y near its maximum. If we go near its maximum, this will be a good approximation for this integral because we have an exponential here. The exponential near its maximum will perfectly approximate this integral. So let's find the maximum of that function. We have the function f of y equal to log y minus y. If we take the derivative, f prime of y is equal to 1 over y minus 1. And if we set this equal to 0, we find y equal to 1, which is the point at which the function f of y is maximized. We can also find the second derivative of y to prove this, because f double prime of y is minus 1 over y squared, and if we set y equal to 1, we get that f double prime of 1 is equal to minus 1. So we are going to approximate the function f of y by truncating the Taylor series to the second order. We are not going to go beyond the second order. So this is going to be approximately equal to n e to the n log n integral from 0 to infinity of e to the n, and then instead of the function f of y, we get f of 1, which is minus 1, then we get plus f double prime of 1, which is minus 1, so we have minus, and here we have y minus 1 squared over 2 dy. Now also take a look at this, e to the n log n. This can also be written as n to the power n for the properties of logarithms, because we have n log n in the argument of the exponential, so n log n is equal to log n to the power n. So it's e to the log of n to the power n. But e to the log, of course, is just the argument, so this is n to the power n. Now we are going to make another approximation at this step. This is approximately equal to, we have n to the power n here. We also have e to the power minus n from here, so we can put it out of the integral, e to the minus n. And then we are going to integrate in principle from 0 to infinity. But since we are carrying out an integration near the maximum, we can also start from the maximum itself, 1. We can go from 1 to infinity. This will allow us to find the closed form expression for this integral. It is another approximation, as I said, but we can do that simply because we have approximated our function near the vicinity of the point y equal to 1. And here we get e to the minus y minus 1 squared divided by 2. And then here I'm going to write it as 1 over n. I'm going to rewrite it like this. So here we have a factor of n, which I can put in the denominator here, dy. Why am I doing this? Well, simply because I have rewritten this integral as a Gaussian integral, where 1 over n is the variance of the variable y, if you consider it to be a random variable, which we are integrating over. And this Gaussian integral will give us a well-known result. The result is square root of 2 pi times the square root of the variance. So we have the square root of 1 over n. Therefore, the result can be rewritten like this: n to the n times e to the minus n times the square root of 2 pi n after you simplify it. And this is Stirling formula. This quantity here is approximately equal to n factorial. This is used in statistical mechanics, for example, but also in probability. This approximation is very useful to see, for example, the Central Limit Theorem, derived from statistical distributions such as the binomial distribution. And sometimes, if we just want a rough approximation, it is also possible to remove this factor. This factor here is the least important factor in the formula because, after all, we have something which is proportional to n to the power 1/2. And this factor can be neglected simply because if we put, for example, this one and this one together, we get n to the power n plus 1/2. Since in some cases, such as in statistical mechanics, this n here is much larger than 1/2, sometimes it is also possible to rewrite Stirling's formula as n to the power n e to the minus n. So it really depends on what kind of approximation you want, how precise you want to be. You can also be more precise than this formula, but for this lecture, this is the formula that I wanted to prove, and we might use this in future lectures where I derive the central limit theorem from some statistical distributions, like the binomial distribution.